Hello everybody, I'm sitting on the floor today. As I mentioned in the description of my last video, Wishbone was announced almost a year ago. It's going to be a year ago this Friday, the 22nd. So I said that I wanted to make a video talking about this album and just all the things that it's done for me. And as the title of this video said, this album has changed my life, and I know that sounds like an exaggeration, but it really isn't. There is so much that happened because of this album that genuinely never would have happened otherwise. You'll see what I mean once I go through this. I wrote all my notes of things that I want to talk about in this video, and there's a lot. I'm probably going to be talking for like half an hour. I hope I'll be able to cut that down, but that's my prediction. Half an hour unedited, unless I speed through it. But we're just gonna go ahead and get right into it. I really wanted to make this video as a way to encapsulate this past year, because I would be really upset if I never got to be able to put down everything that this album's done for me, and just writing it down or keeping it to myself isn't enough. I want to express that. So we're gonna go ahead and get started. The first thing that happened basically is that Wishbone was announced May 22nd, 2025. And I don't really remember seeing the announcement post for the first time. I remember seeing it very early into when it was first announced. I remember seeing it, but I don't exactly remember the first time because I wasn't as big of a fan yet. Because obviously I've listened to Conan Gray before. I've been listening to him for years. My most memorable instances of listening to Conan Gray is I listened to Heather in 2020, I listened to Family Line in 2022, I saw the Alley Rose teasers in 2024. I remember listening to him at the beginning of freshman year, so almost 2 years ago now. And I remember seeing some of his Instagram posts before, right before Wishbone was announced, when he announced Kid Crow Decomposed, and the one where he was teasing the This Song music video where it's him and Corey. I also vividly remember his profile picture before he changed it to the Wishbone one where it's him as a kid. I don't know, I just vividly remember that. So I had listened to Conan Gray before, I was a fan. It just intensified so much once Wishbone was announced. I remember within a week of it being announced, I had the track list memorized. I claimed my track. The track that I claimed was Caramel, if you're wondering, and I was so right to claim that. That's definitely my favorite on Wishbone. I have such good memories attached to that. So basically, once Wishbone was announced, my first, one of my first memories of it was I posted an Instagram note to people watching, and what I said under the song was I was oh, Conan Gray's 4th album is coming. And I don't remember if I did this when it was getting teased, because I don't know when people realized that in the crow for Kid Crow Decomposed it had the wishbone in it and it was colored blue. I don't know if I saw that and posted that note, or the album was announced and I posted it. I feel like the album was announced and I posted it, but I'm not sure. I just remember posting to people watching and being Conan Gray's 4th album is coming. So Wishbone was announced, and then a week later this song came out. It comes out at different time zones, you know? So I looked up the lyrics 15 minutes before the song and the music video came out for me, and I had all the lyrics memorized within the next morning. It was crazy. I've never learned a song that fast before. But I remember waiting for it to come out and watching the premiere in my bed. And I'd never seen a music video so good. I've never connected to a song that much in my whole life until that point. I was wow, this is the best music video I've ever seen. This is my favorite song. And then that basically just kicked off Wishbone Summer. Best months of my life, without a doubt. It was just so fun that summer, having something that I could learn about and be interested in. Obviously I'd been a fan of Conan before, as I said, but now I was really getting into it and watching all of his old interviews and listening to all of his songs instead of only the ones I knew before. Wishbone Summer was just so much fun. It was just such a good time, and I'm listening to his music and I'm having such a great time, and it's summer, so life is so easy. And with Wishbone Summer, I started meeting these people within the fandom, and I've met so many amazing people that I never would have met otherwise. Like, these are people who live across the globe and I've only met them because of Conan, and I think that's so cool. Wishbone was really what turned me into a fangirl, because once I started becoming a big fan of Conan, I started rediscovering all these other artists that I had always loved, but now I became more obsessed with them, more interested in them, because Conan was turning me into more of a fangirl, and I was making friends with all these other fangirls, and we were all just like fangirling together, and that's such a great experience. Everyone deserves fangirl friends. So at the beginning of that summer, I decided that I wanted to learn guitar. So I have my acoustic guitar right there, the one that's broken. I'm sure you've all seen it. And I started learning guitar on that, and obviously it was broken, so we had to get a new one, which is this one right here. That's my baby. And then so I started learning guitar. The first song that I ever learned was, oh, it was Traitor. Yeah. I actually did a full cover of that like a month or two ago on here, and that first song that I learned wasn't that good. I have improved it a lot because I was just learning like the chords and stuff, because I had played guitar before when I was younger. I just didn't for like a really long time. I don't know why, but I picked it back up, and now it's like a permanent hobby, and I think it's a really good skill for me to have, especially as I've always wanted to go into the music industry. Another thing that I think was really significant about Wishbone is it's the first album that I've ever pre-saved. I remember when Guts was announced, I was like, what's the point in pre-saving? Like, I feel like there's no reason to do that. But then I pre-saved Wishbone, and like I said, I started listening to all of his music, and I had no recollection of ever listening to Summer Child before, which I don't know if I've said this on here, I probably have, but Summer Child is my favorite Conan song. And over Wishbone Summer, I literally could not listen to that song without crying or like tearing up, I guess. And I can listen to it normally now, but I kind of miss that. That song just means so much to me. I don't even know what it is. I don't know why it's my favorite, but it's just like, it just is. I just love it so much. And as I was learning about like Conan's story, it inspired me so much, because you know, he's a small town kid and he was able to use his skills and his talents and his intelligence and all that to make it out of his small town. And his YouTube channel especially was one of his like biggest tools in helping him to escape that town, and it helped him get into UCLA, and it helped him sign his record deal and got him to where he is now. And that's such an inspiration for me, because I also am a small town kid and I want to make it out of this town and work in the music industry. So that did really inspire me to start my own YouTube channel in hopes that it would help me in the way that it's helped him, because I've wanted to work in the music industry since I was 4, maybe, I don't know. My first memory of wanting to work in the music industry is from when I was 4, but I guess I've wanted to work in the music industry for as long as I knew what music was, basically. And signing a record deal or being able to release my own music or going on tour would just be the biggest dream come true, because I've always wanted to do that, and Conan has given me hope that like, yeah, that's possible. He talks about this in his own videos. I love his old YouTube videos. Like, they're such a comfort to me because I really like see myself in them. I just love them so much. But he says that he's been told this so many times, and I've heard this a lot too, that big things don't happen to kids from small towns. But he's proved that wrong, and that gives me a lot of hope that I can prove it wrong too. It just makes me really happy that there's even a possibility of me being able to achieve my dreams, and he's really helped me realize that. So that's really why I started my YouTube channel, and I really do love YouTube. Like, I love making videos, and every time I get like a sweet comment or a new subscriber, it really just like makes my day to know that there are people out there who are watching my videos and enjoying them. That just makes me so happy. So I started fangirling a lot more because of Wishbone. Like, one instance at the beginning of Wishbone Summer that I remember very vividly is is when he kissed Role Model Tucker Pillsbury. He's on my wall right there. They're next to each other. Or I guess Tucker's kind of like surrounded because Conan's here and here and here and here. I'll have to sneeze. No, it went away. I remember them kissing so vividly. I was like, what just happened? And that's what actually introduced me to Role Model, because I'd never heard of him before. But they're kissing on stage, and I'm like, wait, this song is kind of good. And then I started listening to Role Model, and now I'm like the biggest fan. Thank you, Conan, for that. And then with Wishbone, that was the first vinyl that I ever pre-ordered. It wasn't the first vinyl that I owned because not long after I pre-ordered Wishbone, I bought the Target exclusive version of Guts, I believe. So that was the first vinyl I owned. The first vinyl I pre-ordered was the Vodka Cranberry edition of Wishbone, and that came signed. And now I have 3 signed things back there. One's this one right here. The other ones are like higher up there. I don't know if you can see, you might be able to see the CD cover somewhere over there. That just caused like an influx of merch because as you can see, I have all the posters back there. I have so many vinyl records and CDs, and I have like clothes. Like I'm wearing my Wishbone World Tour hoodie just for this. It's so crazy that those are signed. Like sometimes I forget that, and then I remember that like they're signed by him, and I'm like, wow, that's so crazy. I really can't believe that. I opened it and I just like stared at it. I was like, wow, I can't believe that this is real. And then something else, I believe that this was on June 1st last summer. Conan had already announced tour. I don't know what day he announced tour, but I think it was on June 1st that I asked my mom if we could go see him in Mountain View. And she said yes, which I couldn't believe. I was like, oh my gosh, I have a chance to finally see Conan Gray, even though I've really only been like fangirling over him for 2 weeks. I'm like so passionate about this that I do really want to go see him live. So on June 3rd, we go to pre-sale to buy our tickets and we couldn't get in for like 2 minutes. So we were late to the pre-sale, but we still ended up getting 9th row tickets. And I have like never ever been happier in my life. I actually like couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm finally gonna get to see Conan Gray live. I've been listening to him for over 5 years, or I don't even know how long, but I'm finally gonna be able to see him live. This is so crazy. Hold on, I'm done with my first. Who's at the door? That scared me, bro. So I'm done with my first sheet. We're halfway through and we're 18 minutes in. So this is gonna be looking like 40 minutes-ish. Okay, so yeah, Wishbone Summer was just like continuing. It was a great time. I was having so much fun just being able to be like a complete fangirl for the first time. And then he started teasing Vodka Cranberry, and then he performed it for the first time in Poland. I was so gagged by that high note. I heard that song for the first time and I was totally just like blown away. And then the Vodka Cranberry music video came out, also blew my mind. So Vodka Cranberry, also very important to Wishbone Summer because it was just more into like the world of Wishbone. I just loved everything that came out of that album. It's just such beautiful like music and art and creative direction. And then after Vodka Cranberry, I remember I was driving up to Oregon and I opened my phone and he's posted a snippet of Connell. I was so gagged. It was actually like insane because I heard that song and everything stopped. I was like, wait, this is like the craziest song that I've ever heard. And so that song's like all I thought about for that whole overnight Oregon trip. And then I remember we went back to school, and then I was sitting in school one morning between 0 and first period, and I saw that we were getting a Caramel music video, the song I Claimed. I like totally freaked out over that. That was pretty much it until Wishbone release. I listened to the album first and it just completely destroyed me. I remember listening to Connell and I was like, there's like over a minute left in the song, but all he says is Connell 4 times. And then I listened to it and I was like, oh my god. And then so after that, I watched the Caramel music video. My emotions were already like heightened because of listening to the album. But I watched that music video for the first time. It made me cry so hard. Which is just crazy because if there is a Conan Gray music video that you're gonna cry to, it should not be Caramel. If you've watched the video, like, you know what I mean. I don't know what reason there is to cry to that. But that's everything about Wishbone release. I got my vinyls and I got all my signed stuff and my merch, which was super cool. Then we waited about a month for tour to start, and that's when it started getting real. I was like, okay, oh my gosh, I'm like seeing Conan, and I was working on my outfit and stuff. I was getting so excited. So I saw him for the first time on October 3rd in Mountain View, Shoreline Amphitheater with Hemlock Springs. The tour poster for that is this one that's up here. I kind of remember a lot about that day, more than the average day for sure. But we drove to Mountain View and then we got into the venue and I started like freaking out. Like when we were waiting in line, I was pretty calm, but then we got in and I started freaking out. So we're going around and we're like taking pictures and we go wait in the merch line. I'm like getting heart palpitations thinking about this. Like, imagine how excited I must have been like on the actual day. But we're waiting in the merch line. My sister wants food. My mom goes and gets her food. I couldn't eat because I was so nauseous that I was gonna throw up if anything touched my lips. So we get our merch and then we go to walk into the venue, and we got fan project papers. That fan project was so cute. It was during 11/11. It always looks so beautiful. We go and we're about to walk into like the actual amphitheater, and everything was fine up until that point. But then we walk in and I see the amphitheater and I immediately like start crying. I remember seeing the stage down here because you enter up here and then there's like the first level, the stage, and then up here there's like the second level and then the lawn. So I remember we entered right here, then I saw the stage and I saw all these seats and I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe that he's playing for so many people. Like, wait, he's like famous. I'm like so proud of him. This is like crazy to me because this was my first concert. So I look at all those seats and I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is a lot of people. And then I look at the stage and I'm like, wait, he's gonna be there and I'm gonna like really see him. I just lost it. And to make things worse, Sailor Song was playing, so that definitely made me cry a little more. Like, if Ought to Go was playing, I don't think I would have cried so much. But we walk over and we're going down to our seats because it was in the first section, 9th row, so we had to walk down a little bit. So we're walking down and we just keep getting closer and closer to the stage. And I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, like we're gonna be so close. Like, this is crazy. I can't believe I'm gonna really see him. I don't really have a lot to say about that show other than it was my first time seeing him and it was so crazy and it was so much fun because I don't remember a single thing, but I very vividly remember leaving because immediately after it ended, I was so sad. Like, I didn't have any concerts lined up after that. I was just like so sad, and I was sad for like 2 weeks until it was the Red Rock show. And the Red Rock show was so important to me because he was just so happy to be there. And Red Rocks is one of like my dream venues to play. Like, that's such an iconic venue. And from like the stage view, you look up and it's just like so many seats just like right in front of you. And I think that's so crazy to play for that many people. But at Red Rocks, he started teasing the Wishbone World Tour. I was like, oh my gosh, I can see him again. Then Wishbone World Tour got announced. I got tickets for that on October 24th for Sacramento with Isha Tawari. I was so happy. So I was just waiting again for tour to start and to see him again because like I was gonna be even closer than I was last time. Tour starts and I find out that he's doing a barricade walk past my floor section because I was hoping he would, but even when I found out he was, I still wasn't that like hopeful because he did it like past the side that I wasn't on because we had the last seats in the section. So I still didn't think I was going to be able to like be there for the barricade walk. But then the day of the concert came and I was so excited. Oh my gosh, that scared me so bad. My phone died. And then when I opened it up again, the video where I just talked for over half an hour wasn't there, but it just came back. That scared me so bad. Okay, so I'm gonna let it charge for a minute and then I'm gonna pick it back up. 0 out of 10 experience, but we're back, I hope. So I believe I was talking about, we went to the SAC show and when we got there we were waiting in the merch line and then we were waiting in the line to get inside and we are just like running around taking pictures, getting merch, like getting food. I wasn't eating obviously because I was gonna get sick. But then I was expecting to cry again, like I did in Mountain View when we got into the venue. But I actually didn't, even though we were closer this time. And we're walking down all the stairs and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's gonna be right there. Then we get to our seats and I'm like, oh my gosh, he's gonna be right there, like 2 feet in front of my face. And everyone was so nice at that show. Like, I got so many compliments on my outfit. These girls that were behind me were like actually the sweetest ever. Like, I love them so much. And then so Bad Idea Right starts playing and everyone gets up, starts freaking out. The people that are in the floor sections on either side of the Wishbone run to the barricade and I'm like, oh shoot, like this is my chance. So I get up there and there's a chair blocking my way, but there's an opening in the barricade. So I scoot around the chair and I get my hand on the barricade and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I got barricade for Conan Gray. Like, I'm at the barricade. Like, the barricade walk is gonna go right past me. Like, Conan Gray is gonna hold my hand. So the show starts and I cried maybe even harder than I did at Mountain View because at Sacramento I cried a lot like when the show like intro was playing, but I think in Mountain View I cried more during the actual songs because I didn't believe he was real during the intro of the first show. But now that I knew he was real and that I was gonna see him again, I was like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. So I cry really hard, and then he comes out and it's a great time until Wish You Were Sober. And he goes down our side of the catwalk and he finishes the chorus and he's walking back, and I start waving at him. I'm waving really aggressively, and so he sees me and he goes like this at me, like he waves back, and I lost it. I was like, oh my gosh, like he waved at me, like he looked at me and he was like, hey, I should wave at that person right there, and waved at me. Like that's a crazy concept to me. And then people watching starts and I start sobbing and I cry throughout the whole song, and I'm like, oh my god during the like second chorus, and he's about to come down, and then he comes down for the barricade walk, and obviously like I hold his hand or whatever, I go like this across like his whole arm, and I was like the only one at that point like grabbing his hand, because the people in front of me and behind me are like a little bit far away, so I'm just like this across his whole arm. But I like freaked out after that. I was like, oh my god, like I basically just held Conan Gray's hand, because we did kind of like hold hands a little bit, but I was like freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe that just happened. So I like basically kind of interacted with him twice during that show, which is like so crazy to me, because if you told the me from Mountain View or even from like Wishbone Summer that I would be barricaded for Conan Gray and he would wave at me and hold my hand, I would freak out. Like I went from 9th row to barricade. It's just so crazy to me. I got to hear Overdrive live, which is huge. That's my anthem, actually. And then I did say hi to Dylan actually when he was walking past. During one of the songs, I go, hi Dylan, and he like turns around to me. And so very brief interaction with Dylan. But I got back from that show and I feel like I wasn't that sad after. I did have other concerts lined up after. Like after the pajama show, I didn't have any. I don't have any Conan concerts lined up anymore. All the festivals and other shows he's doing, I don't think he's doing any in the US. So I can't really go to that. For at least like 2 weeks after the show, I would wake up every morning and my first thought would be Conan Gray waved at me, which is so funny. That was like so crazy to me. I was thinking about that a lot today actually. Like I rewatch those videos every day. I like collect angles of it happening because I genuinely like can't believe that happened. I have to make sure it was real like every single day. But then 2 days after my show at the LA show, he announced the Wishbone Deluxe and I freaked out. And then Wishbone Deluxe came out a few weeks later. It was so good. I actually like really couldn't believe it. He just keeps outdoing himself with all the music that he's putting out. And I totally know what he means when he says that he was still writing Wishbone songs, because I pressed play on the first song and I was like, this is so Wishbone. Like it just gave off exactly the same vibes. After Wishbone Deluxe got released, he started the Europe leg of tour, and that's basically all that's happened since then. I'm just hoping for a little bit of a Wishbone Summer Part 2 this summer. Only got 3 more days of school, so I'm hoping that we'll get another Wishbone Summer, because life was so good last summer and I want it to be like that again. I want to fangirl to my fullest potential like I was last summer. And that basically sums everything up. That's all the ways that Wishbone has changed my life, basically. I've met so many people and experienced all these things and went to my first concerts because of this album. I found someone that I can relate to and kind of look up to, and who has a similar story to me that I can kind of follow in the footsteps of, because I really see myself in younger Conan and how we want the same things and how he achieved that and how I'm also hoping to achieve that. And this album has really just inspired me to work for my goals. And besides that, just the aspect of like fangirling and finding something that I'm so passionate about, because I've always loved music, obviously, and I've always wanted to work in the music industry, but I've become so much more passionate about it because of Wishbone. And I've really been like learning more about the music instead of just enjoying it and being interested in the artist and seeing them live and all of these things. Basically, Wishbone has just been my like biggest inspiration, and Conan has inspired me so much, and everything that's happened in the last year has been because of that album. I would say that it's changed my life. I really hope I did my story justice with this. I think I must have. I've been recording for 40 minutes now, so I'm gonna see if I can cut that down a little bit. But I feel like that's the end of this video. I've talked a lot. I think I've said everything I need to say about Wishbone. This album is so near and dear to my heart. Like, it's everything. It's changed my life, as I'm sure we can all see now. It's just been like the best year of my life, all because of this album. I hope everyone can find something like this that they weren't really expecting to find, but then they find this thing, whether it's music like it was for me or anything else, that just changes their whole life so instantly. Like, I find it hard to believe that this one social media post where he said, I'm announcing this new album, was able to do all of these things for me. But it has, and I'm so grateful, and I've had the best year, like I said. And I'll always look back on this year and Wishbone Summer especially as the best time of my life. And thank you, Conan, for this album. Really. So I feel like that's all I need to say for this video. I have said quite a lot, but I really just love this album so much. It means everything to me. I hope you guys enjoyed hearing me talk about my favorite album for this long, and I will see you guys next week. Bye!